Good morning. It's April 11th, 2020, and I'm Margaret Drugovich, the president of Hartwick College. Well, Hartwick community, we did it. We got through the third week of remote learning. I want to thank our faculty for making the adjustments that you've made this week in your teaching approach based on feedback we've been getting from our students. And I want to thank our students for completing the survey that we've been sending every Friday. We sent another one out yesterday. Thank you for completing that survey and for giving us feedback about how we can make this experience even richer for you. It's not an ideal experience, and we all understand that we're very eager, all of us are, to get back to our regular way of learning together. But we are here where we are today, and we're all going to make the adjustments that we can to make this learning as good as it can possibly be. So keep the feedback coming. We're glad to have it, and we're acting on that feedback as we receive it. Thank you. I know that a number of our students have decided to take advantage of the pass, no pass option that we published last Friday. If you didn't see that, students, I hope that you'll go back and take a look at that email and see what that policy is all about. The choice is completely yours, but you've got the option for the rest of this term to decide whether you'd like to take your courses in a pass, no pass fashion, and that's your choice. And we're going to make it easy for you to do that. So go ahead and check that out. And if you have any questions in that email, there's a place, some instructions about who you can contact for some additional information. We're always glad to hear from you. And in that regard, I've been thinking a lot about how what we can learn from this particular experience that we've been through. I've been talking with my colleagues recently about what can we take away from the learning that we have, even when we return to a more matrix-like learning, which is a more natural way for all of us to learn as opposed to this linear learning that we're going through now. What are the important lessons that we can take away from the learning that we have now? And I'd ask us all to think really hard about that. Even though this has not been an ideal way to learn, there are some important things that we've learned that we can take with us and can make us stronger, even as we come back together in our more traditional setting. And so I would urge all of you to take the care to do that and to take those learnings with you as we return. And that's one of the questions, I suppose, that I've been asked most frequently this week. When will we return to our regular campus-based learning? And my answer is, unfortunately, I just don't know. I noticed this morning that New York City has announced that New York City public schools will be closed now for the rest of the term. I think that what we all need to do is be attentive to the guidance that we're receiving from federal and particularly state authorities about when it will be possible for us to gather again. I know that we are all really intensely interested in getting back to normal, if you will, or back to the way we used to operate. All of the college's operations are being done from the homes of our employees right now. Our faculty are teaching from their homes. Our students are learning from their homes. This is not the way we would like it to be, but it is the way it needs to be for as long as that is necessary. And so I would ask you, please, to be patient. We will announce when we can when we will start again. But for right now, we're going to continue our operation as we have at this time, and we're going to do that as long as it's necessary to keep everyone safe. And that safety is very much on my mind these days. My heart goes out to all of you who have been impacted by the COVID-19 crisis. We have alumni who have succumbed to the illness. We have family members of our community who have become seriously ill. This is a very difficult time for many members of our community. And when I think about how can we help to make sure that we limit the amount of sadness in people's lives that will come because of this virus, the best thing that I can do is to urge you, just as I have to remind myself, limit your contacts with other individuals. Please adhere to all of the social distancing guidance that we're receiving. We have a big holiday coming up for some of us tomorrow. You're going to want to be with your grandparents. You're going to want to be with other members of your family. Please resist the temptation of large family gatherings. Let's stay the course. This seems to be helping. at least in New York City, the social distancing that's been put into place seems to be helping. We're seeing more cases here in the northern part of the state, but if we adhere to the instructions that we've been receiving, I would really urge you to do that. We will limit the amount of sadness in other people's lives yet to come. And so please join me in taking comfort where we can. That's not always going to be, and it's not going to be for now, in a group of large people, but there are other places to find comfort. So for example, this morning I went outside early to shoo the squirrels off of my bird feeders, and the birds were singing. Yesterday I probably had a dozen goldfinch at the feeder that I can see from this space, which is now my temporary office from my home. There is beauty and wonder, truly, all around us. It's easy to get access to music. It's easy to get access to beautiful images of art. It's easy right outside your doorway and outside your window. Birds are singing at this time of year. Daffodils are blooming. At least they are here in upstate New York. Everything is starting to bud. It's really a beautiful time to be outside of your home. But please resist the temptation for a pickup basketball game with your friends, or for, as one student said yesterday, he was invited to attend a fire pit with his friends. Please resist this temptation, because it's really important that we protect others even as we protect ourselves from the illness. And so please do your best to adhere to all the guidance that we've been given. And Hartwick will come back together again as soon as it is possible for us to do so. I'm particularly proud of this week of the students who have agreed to have their townhouse belongings packed up and stored safely so that we could make room for first responders in our community. Earlier in the week, the city asked us to accommodate, because we had offered, and asked us to accommodate individuals who are EMS personnel and police and fire people who either needed some respite time or needed some self-quarantine. And we are proud to give them shelter on our Hartwick campus. And so for those of you who are our guests right now who might be hearing this message, please know that you are welcome on our campus, and we are very grateful to you for everything that you have done to help keep our community safe. We know that this virus is spreading through this part of the state, just as it had spread through the lower part of the state earlier. We know how important your role is to making sure that we are as safe as we can be, and we're going to do everything we can to support you. And so thank you for what you're doing, and we're glad to have you as our guests. To our students, I know that for as precipitously as this crisis began, it's probably going to have what I consider to be a bit of a ragged edge. And what I mean by that is that many families, probably all families, are going to be impacted one way or another through the economic impact of this illness. So we're going to be seeing some economic impacts for months to come. It's possible that your family will be dramatically impacted by this. Maybe a family member has lost a job. Maybe one of your family members or both of your parents need to go on unemployment. Maybe someone else who cares for you has lost a job. We want to know what's happening with you in this regard. And so we are we're going to be sending you a message, and we're going to be asking you to tell us what's happening with you and your family. We want to do everything we can from the college's point of view to make it possible for you to return in the fall. And I want to assure you of that. We want you to come back to the college in the fall. And we know that that may be more difficult because of what your family may be going through from an economic point of view. And so please, when we reach out to you, let us know what's happening. We're going to do everything we can to bridge every gap possible to make it possible for you to return in the fall. That's very important for us. We want to see you here again. And so please make sure that you respond to our inquiry, but you don't have to wait either. You can contact us directly. You know how to reach us. Please let us know what it is that you need from us. You can do that through the survey that you're completing every Friday. You can fill in the other box, or you can just simply email the financial aid office. Let someone know what you need, and we'll get you to the right person who can actually help to work to figure out the best way to bridge that gap. You know, there are all kinds of ways that we can take comfort, as I said earlier. One of the ways that we can do that is by celebrating holidays that are very important to us. And one of the holidays that's coming up, obviously, is a holiday tomorrow, the Easter holiday. Many of you will be celebrating that. I hope that you get a little bit of sun wherever you are. I hope that you take the comfort that I noted earlier through music that might be part of your celebration, through FaceTiming with your grandparents and seeing those people that you love on your telephone screen, by looking at art and images of art, by simply sort of being encouraged and comforted by the beauty that is around us. This is an important part of staying healthy in a community, and I'd like you to do that for me. Even if you don't celebrate the Easter holiday, take a little time tomorrow on Sunday to have a little space and to create some beauty in your life. And with that, I'd like to do my close here today with two special messages to all of our first responders, including those individuals who are close to Hartwick, who are trained by Hartwick, who are members of our community. Thank you once again for everything you're doing to heal those who need to be healed and to bring comfort to those who need to be comforted. And I want to close with a special message to a very special member of our community, New York State Senator Jim Seward, class of 1973, honorary degree recipient 1999, and someone who will receive the President's Award for the Liberal Arts and Practice at our commencement ceremony this coming fall. Jim, I want you to know that the whole Hartwick community is with you. We've been watching, you've been in our thoughts and prayers as both you and Cindy have been recovering from the COVID-19 virus. I want you to know that we're so pleased for you, that your recovery continues and you're in our hearts every day. I know that Easter is a very important holiday for you and Cindy and your family, and so please know that as we go into that holiday, we think about you and we wish you all the best and a quick road to a complete recovery. With that, I'll say goodbye for now. For all of us, have a safe and healthy week. Be well.